Rob. This video, we're finally going to get back into the fantasy battle. This one, we're going to do Galactus versus Unicron. Okay guys, welcome back. So, as you know, twice a month here on ETN, we like to do fantasy battles, a series I started not too long ago based on the likeness of Deadliest Warrior. Now, many of you are new subscribers, and I know you'll be checking out this video. I just want to let you know ahead of time that this is a simulation based on imagination in terms of what you see. The results are based on a spreadsheet simulator created in Excel, and is very similar to how they do things on Deadliest Warrior. However, because I am a small channel and limited to the software that I use, I'm unable to provide 3D special effects or simulation on what the battle looks like. So with that said, it is a very popular series here on the channel. A lot of the subscribers like it. It's a lot of fun to kind of envision some of your favorite characters as they do battle. Now, this particular battle was very, very difficult to put together simply because there's a lot of content and history for both characters, in particular Unicron, which we're going to start with him. Now, Unicron has many different backstories, and the original backstory was based on the 1986 movie of the Transformers. However, since then, the most popular adaptation of Unicron has been the Primus story and some of the stories in Marvel Comics, which this Unicron is based on, and very, very, very similar to Galactus in terms of power and the things he can do in the cosmos. So, choosing what kind of attacks these two incredibly powerful world eaters was very difficult. However, there's three ranges that they have to utilize for battle: a long-range attack, a mid-range attack, and a short-range attack. Now, considering that both entities can control molecules and photons and neutrons and many different cosmic powers, Galactus, much like Unicron, their long-range attack will be an energy beam that has these attributes, because these are the only two beings that can take a hit like that and actually keep coming, where people like me and you would be either annihilated, irradiated, blasted into oblivion, or cease to exist altogether. So that will be Unicron's long-range attack, which he can either shoot from his eyes, his mouth, much like the 1986 movie. Now, for a mid-range attack, I thought it would be a lot of fun to allow these two powerful entities summon their most favorite herald. In the case of Unicron, he, in his mid-range attack, will call upon Galvatron to do battle for him, and that will be his mid-range attack. Now, he will be limited to only 2 attacks, a mix of short range and long range. Obviously, the shoulder cannon will be 1, and then a series of melee attacks will be a 2nd. And for short range attack for Unicron, I'm going to make these big guys duke it out, hand-to-hand, mano-a-mano. So he will have a series of kicks and punches at his disposal. In terms of the other attributes, I have completely maxed out armor, and I have completely maxed out speed. The armor, I'm sure you can understand. Now, why do you ask the speed? Well, because Unicron, much like Galactus, can exist in many different planes, which almost gives him the ability to travel at the speed of light. And because these two entities really can't die, because as we know, Unicron is still alive after even the Transformers beat him in 1986, and Galactus, when he loses all his power, he just goes back, and it's almost like he reboots, so to speak. He shuts down. He's almost like he needs time to charge up. Neither one of them really ever die. So that will be Unicron's power. Long range, Cosmo beam attack. Short range, he will call upon Galvatron, and mid range, and then short range, a series of melee attacks. Now, Galactus, once again, Galactus has always had all these kinds of abilities. He's never gone through a transition like Unicron, where, like I said, Unicron originally, while he did display some unique powers in the Transformer movies, he has gained much more power ever since going through the Primus storyline, as well as some of the Marvel Comics. However, Galactus has always had these powers, and he will, much like Unicron, since he can control the cosmos. In fact, his power is known as the power cosmic. And he will also, while he has a plethora of abilities and attacks he can use, they only get to have 3 attacks, 1 per range. So for his long range attack, once again, he's going to probably shoot his most powerful energy beam, which is filled of molecules, particles, electrons, ions, and matter. Because, as I said before, these two powerful godlike enemies, or bad guys, or whatever you want to call them, are pretty much the only two that can actually take a hit like that and keep coming. Now, for his mid-range attack, he is going to counter Unicron's summoning by summoning his very own herald, the Silver Surfer. So for the mid-range attacks, Unicron and Galactus will choose their champion to fight for them during mid-range encounters. And finally, for the short-range attacks, we're going to see these two big guys. We'll not literally see them, but we will imagine these two big world eaters fighting each other, duking it out, things of that nature. Now, obviously, some could argue, well, if they have the ability to consume, why not put them in the simulator to consume each other? Well, truth of the matter is that while they both have that power, Galactus actually has the advantage because he does not have to transform to consume a planet, where Unicron does. And by the time Unicron is so large, by the time he transforms into his planet stage to consume Galactus, Galactus would have already taken a good chunk out of him. Now, I have been very wary about doing this battle because there are many people who believe Galactus can destroy Unicron and vice versa. I have not really seen many people kind of agree to disagree that it could go either way. Based on the information that I have read, and it's been a lot of it, both of these characters are very, very much alike, probably more alike than people think. So I expect this to be a very close battle. I expect it to be a battle that will really come down to the wire. I don't think it's going to be dominated by either side. The simulation will run the match 25 times, so that avoids any chance of a tie, and obviously the winner must have at least 13 wins to come out the victor. So we're going to put these two in the simulator, we're going to start the countdown, and let's see who comes out on top.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, guys, there's your result. This is the second closest match we've ever had so far on the fantasy battles. Galactus pulls out a close one, 13-12. The results in the range, long range, they were tied. They did not do each other in with their beams, which to me makes sense because, as I said in the pre-match, they are probably the only two who can swallow a hit from each other with a beam of that magnitude because of their power. Now, mid-range is where the difference was primarily. The Silver Surfer overwhelmed Galvatron, beating him 4 out of 5 matches. So it's, and you know, Galvatron, I know a lot of people question why would you call Galvatron against Silver Surfer, but remember, Unicron can instill his power on Galvatron just like Galactus can do to Silver Surfer. So it's not really that Silver Surfer overpowered Galvatron per se. He just outmatched him. That's what it comes down to. The numbers were very similar down the middle. In fact, I made them identical. Okay, for Galvatron and Surfer, it was 70 on 70 in lethality, which means their chances of landing a lethal blow, 70 to 70. Their reach was exactly the same, speed was the same, which technically I should be giving Silver Surfer a speed advantage, to be quite honest. But that's how it turned out. Silver Surfer just bested him, plain and simple. And in the short range, it was fairly even. Unicron basically outmuscled Galactus. And again, that makes sense to me because while Galactus' size has never really been confirmed, according to the research I have, I know he's obviously larger than an average planet, but it seems that Unicron is bigger than Galactus. And because he has the same power, Galactus normally doesn't like to fight physically, only if he has to, according to what I've read on the Marvel character wiki. That's like a last resort for him, so I would assume that melee is not his strong suit, so that makes perfect sense that Unicron beat him in that category. But overall, a very, very fun and very close match. Basically, if it wasn't for their heralds, God only knows how this would have turned out. So maybe down the road sometime we'll do a rematch, leave the heralds out of it, and then just see how it turns out then. But I thought including the heralds would be a nice touch because both of them can and will at many times summon any kind of herald they want. And I figured picking Galvatron and Silver Surfer would be a nice little fun twist to throw in. But anyway, guys, that's it for this fantasy battle. I hope you enjoyed it. Galactus pulls out a close one, 13 wins to Unicron's 12. And that's it for this fantasy battle. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one. Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host, Rob. This video, we're finally going to get back into the fantasy battle. This one, we're going to do Galactus versus Unicron. Okay guys, welcome back. So, as you know, twice a month here on ETN, we like to do fantasy battles, a series I started not too long ago based on the likeness of Deadliest Warrior. Now, many of you are new subscribers, and I know you'll be checking out this video. I just want to let you know ahead of time that this is a simulation based on imagination in terms of what you see. The results are based on a spreadsheet simulator created in Excel, and it's very similar to how they do things on Deadliest Warrior. However, because I am a small channel and limited to the software that I use, I'm unable to provide 3D special effects or simulation on what the battle looks like. So with that said, it is a very popular series here on the channel. A lot of the subscribers like it. It's a lot of fun to kind of envision some of your favorite characters as they do battle. Now, this particular battle was very, very difficult to put together simply because there's a lot of content and history for both characters, in particular Unicron, which we're going to start with him. Now, Unicron has many different backstories, and the original backstory was based on the 1986 movie of the